of the storm. You can do so right on our Facebook page. Tatum and Alex are monitoring that and passing along that information. And in addition to that, of course, we want you to be safe. So if you're in the path of these storms and any of these warnings, you need to be in your safe space, in your shelter area. And again, with these kind of storms, even with severe thunderstorm warnings, treat it like a tornado warning. When we've got wind gusts to 70 miles per hour, there is the potential for branches to come through your window, a tree to fall on your home. So get to that lowest level of your home and get to a smaller room away from windows and protect yourself as these storms are blasting through. So again, we're tracking multiple warnings all along this line for gusts in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. What we haven't seen much of is hail. I have a couple of reports of hail, small hail, but really that has not been as much of a factor as the wind and the tornado threat. And then in addition to that, there's a lot of rain too, and we're pretty waterlogged in the Southern Valley, so concerns about flash flooding potential as well. So again, let's just zoom in on each one of these warnings. We've got on the southern end of this warning right now, Sioux Pass Ranch getting hit by a severe thunderstorm moving through with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And again, our threat here is a tornado possible along any part of this line because of that potential for those little eddies along the edges of the circulation or of the bowing structures to develop and create a quick spin up tornado. And this is moving again to the east in that 40 to 60 mile per hour range. So they're clocking east pretty fast. So I'm going to track this line out for you. That's that warning. Again, we also had just talked about the warning in the Foston area. This is moving toward Clearbrook, the Bagley area as well. This is in effect until 6 a.m. We have that for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. We have a warning continuing on for Highway 59 north from there, Thief River Falls, Newfolden area. That warning in effect until the 5:30 time frame, so another few minutes left on that warning for 60 mile per hour gusts. And then up toward Hallock, the northeastern North Dakota area as well, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45 for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So again, this structure is moving east fast, so let's track out the whole line here for you. This is we'll estimate 55 mile per hour speed here because some are moving a little faster, some segments are moving a little slower. And so moving to the east, we're looking at places like, Purim is already seeing this storm move in. I don't think I tracked that out very well. I didn't draw that line very well here this morning. Let's clear that away. And we'll zoom in a little bit more and see if we can do this a little bit better for you. Again, basically, if you are not too far ahead of the storm, it's going to be on you fast because of the speed that it's moving. We're looking at, of course, Bagley is about to get hit by this. And each one of these segments, by the way, that's a 15-minute segment on our track. So Bagley in that 15-minute range, Purim right on the edge of that. Looking at right behind the word Bagley is Bemidji area, so about 30 minutes for Bemidji, down toward Park Rapids, about I'd say about 30 minutes for you too before the storm moves in. Wadena area, 30 to 45 minutes for this storm to move in for you. And then this, of course, stretches up to Roseau area where we're in that 30 to 45 minute range as well. So again, moving fast off to the east, and we continue to track some of the strongest segments of this line moving eastward. I'm just going to turn on our storm relative velocities again, and you can see a lot of bright color here on the map. This is rain heading away from the Mayville radar site, which is right here. So it's detecting raindrops moving away. And what it's looking for is the speed of the raindrops as it sends out a little signal to them, and then that signal gets pinged back. The radar can estimate how fast those objects are moving away or toward it. And that's how Doppler radar works. And you can see that we've got some areas where we've got some orange showing up within some of these colors here. And so let's see, in Polk County, we're just looking into that. We're looking at a 68 mile per hour gust detected there. So we're still looking at embedded in this line of storms, gusts that are in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. So again, continuing to warn you for these storms as they roll eastward. If you're in the wake of it, once this first heavy line of storms moves on, we are looking at somewhat quieter weather, still getting some showers. There is the potential that we could see some gusty winds behind that low too. And I know I've been focusing on the severe areas. We we do have some strong storms in the southern end of this line as well. One that's just been moving through our viewing area down along the state line. I'm going to show you our sky cam there. Down at the Dakota Magic Casino, we've been seeing some stormy weather. Looks like it's starting to ease up a little bit, but those flags are really going. We still got some lightning. There's some wind down there down at the Dakota Magic Casino here this morning. So I'm just going to take a quick look at our forecast for today, and then we'll take a break, and I'll take a break. We'll check in with Tatum and Alex on power outages and that sort of thing that we've been experiencing here as the morning has been going on. So let's take a look at our forecast for today. Right now, checking out Fargo, we've got conditions that are quieting down, still getting some rain in Fargo after that initial blast. And again, we did have some reports of some wind damage in the Fargo-Moorhead metro area right now, and a wind gust in Moorhead, I believe. Gotten a lot of gusts in here, reports in recently, but I believe Moorhead's gust was 68 miles per hour. So right now we're at 65 degrees in Fargo, getting some rain still. As the morning goes on, we'll get a little bit of a break, but you can see here we'll have more thunderstorm chances coming up here as the day goes on. We're watching out for another round of severe later this afternoon and tonight that could impact us around the valley. So by 5 o'clock this afternoon, we may warm up initially and then get some rain-cooled air with some thunderstorms that move through. We'll be in the 70s to some 80s coming up here for today. On what is a first alert weather day, a reminder that we have the risk for severe storms. Let's take a look at our storm risk here for today. This is for later on. This is not for this morning. This morning we're still dealing with, but later on, everybody's under a risk for storms, a slight risk more into southeastern North Dakota, up through Grand Forks and into Minnesota as well here for today. So we'll be watching that for tonight. I know it's Friday night coming up here. A lot of people have plans. Still WeFest going on. Concerts could still be impacted as well as we're looking at that next round. But in the meantime, we'll continue to track and help you get through this first round coming through this morning, and checking in on conditions on the roads and on our power outages that are out there too. We're going to check in with Alex right now.
All right, thank you so much, Lisa. Yes, we're going to start off by looking at roads here, okay? As you can see, it looks like a lot of these roads are green. However, when you click on these warnings here, it's going to give you an update. So it's looking as if that one's not cooperating with me here. I know we have a down tree down here. That one is going to be 32 south. So we got a down tree on the roadway impacting traffic. So you can zoom in on here. That's going to be near the Sheldon area. You're going to run into that. I'm going to head on over to our power outages. We've been tracking this for you all morning. Just a short while ago, even at the 4:30 time frame, we had 17,000 customers without power. Right now, we're looking at over 20,000. We're looking at 20,481 of the 406, 745 customers tracked. So you can see here everything that's going on in the state of North Dakota. It looks like Stutsman County, that's going to be the biggest one that we're looking at here. Looks like over 8,000 customers are without power. So that's going to impact Cass County, Dakota Valley, KEM, Northern Plains, and Otter Tail Power Companies. So this is a map. We have posted a link to this too, where if you are experiencing a power outage, you can go report this here on this website. We're looking at poweroutage.us. We've got that on our Facebook page. We got that on our website as well for you too. As you can see here, we're going to click on a few more counties. It looks like Griggs is looking at 640 customers out of the 1,800 tracked. We're going to keep looking at this map for you here. Ransom County, we're also looking at Cass County too. So Cass County, we got 5,000 customers out of the 105,000 tracks. So that's looking like Nodak, Otter Tail, Excel, Cass County. Again, if you are experiencing a power outage, head on over to our Facebook page. Let us know in the comments. We love to hear from you, to hear a little bit more about what you got going on in your area. We're going to head on over to Minnesota here. It looks like Red Lake is seeing a power outage. Only 109 customers affected there. But we're also going to head up north just a tiny bit on this map, see what we got going on. Well, it looks like that's blocked off. So this is 2.5 million customers tracked. So once that rolls in, it looks like we got a few here. Kittson County, you're seeing a minor power outage here. Otter Tail Power Company is a provider affected. 52 out of the 1,900 tracked. I'm going to head back on over to our Facebook page, where I was telling you in the comment section, you can let us know if you're experiencing a power outage so we can be up to date with you at home here. So it looks like 4 minutes ago, Sherry's saying parts of Red Lake Falls. Marcia says hers was off, but back on now. That storm came in fast, but it's just raining. She's White Earth Lake, Becker County. So we also got, has been out for 45 minutes north of East Grand Forks, out in Maple Valley, behind Frontier and Fargo. That's been since 4:15 this morning. Sam says Shelley, Minnesota is out. Miley says no power south of 52nd. Diana says Horace as well. Carlene agreeing with that, no power in Horace. We're also looking at, Jackie says out in Mayville, she's not seeing any power. We're not seeing any power in Horace. Looks like that's the consensus here. Jerica also confirming that with us as well. Again, if you're experiencing a power outage, head on over to our Facebook page. Let us know. Also head on over to poweroutage.us so we're able to, they're able to keep track of that for you as well. I'm going to head back on over to roads so we can see. You can see the Minnesota map impacted there. I'm going to see if we can get a picture here of something. You can see those wet roads over in Grand Forks. That's Highway 2. Check that out. Raindrops coming down. You can barely see anything heading on over on that sky cam. So we're going to throw things back over to Tatum this morning and see what we got going on. Good morning, Tatum.
Good morning, Alex. Yeah, I'm here monitoring our Facebook messages here at the desk this morning, and we just received a photo from a viewer that we are going to pull up. This is of a downed tree on their property. This is Horseshoe Bend in Horace, North Dakota. We're getting that photo pulled up here, but this was this morning around 4:45 a.m. and it's looking like the tree, pretty big one, covering the entire driveway. Looks really down. We'll see if we can get this photo pulled up here for you guys to see. She's also sending in some videos soon, so we'll keep updated on these messages. Again, if you guys are experiencing any damage and you can safely capture a photo or video, feel free to send this over into our Facebook page. Again, this was Horseshoe Bend in Horace, North Dakota. Now I'm taking a look here. Alex is also trying to pull up this photo here in our Facebook messages.
Can take over with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to send things back to meteorologist Lisa Green in the meantime.
Well, good morning again. We continue to track storms, and we do have a new warning that has been issued for northwestern Minnesota. Many counties included in this warning that's been issued. It is in effect here for, again, that northwestern corner of Minnesota. And I'm just going to read off the counties for you. There's a lot. Okay, so we're talking Marshall County, northern Red Lake, northeastern Polk, Kitson County, Roseau County, northern Beltrami County, the southwestern Lake of the Woods County, Pennington, northwestern Clearwater, and northeastern Pembina County included in this. So you can see as we've got this in motion, this bowing structure, again, we've got these strong winds pushing out from this line of storms. And so we've expanded, the National Weather Service has expanded the warning to include this area heading up toward Roseau, toward Lake of the Woods here, as these continue to race off to the east in that 50 to 60 mile per hour speed range. And so let's take a look at the latest on that warning. You can see those storms. There's some intensity to them. We still have some areas where we're looking at some reds and oranges showing up on that line. And of course, as they get farther away from the radar site, it's harder for the radar to detect them. We get that, what we call the overshooting going on with the radar, because the Earth is curved and the radar beam is straight. And so as the Earth curves away from the radar beam, the farther away it gets, the radar can sometimes and tends to overshoot some of the lower levels of the storm. So the closest radar site is Mayville, which is a pretty decent distance away from this area. But again, we're looking at these storms rolling east with the potential for wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. And we're still looking at the potential for a lot of lightning. I haven't even bothered. We can turn on the lightning data here really quick here, but certainly a lot of lightning going on with these storms. I haven't been using it because it blocks the radar data. And of course, downpours happening with these too. We do need the rain in the Northern Valley. It's just that we don't want it all at once here. And so watching out for issues with the rain there. And of course, in the Southern Valley, where we've been dealing with the after effects of the flash flooding that we had earlier this week, the ground saturated. wouldn't take much for some of those same trouble spots to fill with water again. So again, new warning that's in effect until 6:30 this morning for that part of the viewing area in northwest Minnesota. And then warnings continue on for places like Detroit Lakes. Detroit Lakes right in the midst of severe weather as this continues to push eastward along Highway 34 in eastern Becker County. More places in the path of this particular storm. The Park Rapids area, Pine Point, again included here. Frazee getting hit by that storm right now. And anywhere where we have that severe thunderstorm warning, there is the potential that, we could have some circulation develop on the edges of some of these Boeing areas. So again, severe weather continues to march to the valley. I do have a couple of new reports coming in that I want to pass along. We got a report of a semi blown over on I-29, the train bridge near Buxton. Time unknown on that one. And then some reports coming in from emergency management in Steele County. Just looking at, just reading through it here. Looks like in the Findlay area, the city shop building was destroyed. And so all wind-related damages here. It pulled all the tin off the roof and ripped siding off and destroyed the roof. Power is out to about a quarter of the town in Findlay. Nodak Electric on site trying to figure it out. Large bin at the elevator in Findlay also down. It was empty but crushed, was down and crushed some vehicles. And so Findlay looks like it took like a pretty hard hit as the storms rumbled through the Steele County area here this morning. Nothing reported so far from Hope and Laverne. So if you were in that area, that was an area that was hit pretty hard. We'd appreciate hearing from you again on our Facebook pages, our page that Tatum and Alex are monitoring. So again, the reports of damage are coming in. We have had reports of wind gusts 70 to all the way up to 91 miles per hour at the Grand Forks Air Force Base, and these storms continue on. So we'll zoom out more here. You can see storms continuing to race eastward, and it's right along this line where 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts may be occurring, and that is heading toward places like, Roseau is in the path. We're looking at the Red Lake area. Bemidji, I know we don't want to see any more storms this summer, especially ones that we're talking about wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour, but Bemidji's in the mix. And for those storms to move in, the Lake Itasca, Itasca State Park area, hopefully campers there are taking cover. And then in Detroit Lakes, we're still in the midst of that storm moving through Detroit Lakes right now. It's still impacting, looks like a good downpour happening as we speak over WeFest right now too. Let's zoom in a little bit more south of town along Highway 59. I'm going to turn on our lightning data. Again, a lot of lightning going on there too. So hopefully folks are taking cover out at WeFest here this morning. And continuing to expand the view here, storms that are no longer severe warned, but still stormy in Fergus Falls and over into the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. We got hit pretty hard there too, and we're looking at that rain pretty heavy just south of town down toward the Wheaton area as well. So again, warnings continue. Let's just recap when our warnings expire here. We've got the southern end of the line that's warned in Detroit Lakes. That warning in effect until 6 a.m. So looking at another 20 plus minutes on that warning for wind that could gust to 60 miles per hour. We're also looking at that next northern segment here toward Boston and Clearbrook and Bagley in effect until 6 a.m. And then the newest warning that was just issued, this one is in effect until 6:30. It covers a much larger area for intense wind gusts up to the border. And then the last warning here stretching to the north and west that does still stretch into North Dakota. This is in effect for the next few minutes until 5:45, and that makes sense because it's been moving eastward, so we're going to see that likely expire at least for the North Dakota side of the warning right now. So again, tracking these storms as we are watching them move east. They don't look as intense as they did earlier on, so that's good to see, especially for folks in the path of the storms right now. But there's still that possibility for us to get those strong wind gusts to that 60 mile per hour range as that system moves eastward, and it's moving into some less unstable or intense air as it moves to the east. And looking at some trailing precip with this too. So Fargo, it's still raining. Grand Forks, it's still raining. Again, Grand Forks had a tornado warning, and in Grand Forks County, the National Weather Service saying that we had some radar confirmed tornadoes in Grand Forks County showing up. So it'll be interesting to hear from folks. Hopefully everybody's okay and we didn't sustain too much damage, but we'd appreciate hearing from you on how you're faring up there after those storms blasted through Grand Forks. And then you can see this line stretching to the west. There's likely going to be still some lingering showers and thunder showers this morning in the valley and beyond. So the big question mark is if clouds stick around for a long time this morning, if we don't get that full-on sunshine that helps to add more instability to the air, how might that impact our storm risk for later on for today? So we'll be watching out for that. That'll be the next thing, is cleanup from this morning's round, recovery from this morning's round, and then looking ahead to what's coming later today. And so we're going to be talking about that coming up here in a little bit. We'll get into the details on your hour-by-hour forecast on this first alert weather day, both for this morning's storms and for later on as well coming up. And a reminder, I just want to show you really quick before I take this pause, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch still in effect until 7 a.m. and there are still warnings going on in our eastern viewing area. So we'll be back to track those, to continue to track those for you coming up. But let's check in now again with Tatum.
So much, Lisa. Yeah, we finally got that photo that we were mentioning earlier that a viewer had sent in. So this is damage in Horace, North Dakota. You can see this massive tree down in the yard right here, blocking entry and exit for this poor woman here in Horace. So thank you so much for sending this in. Again, we want to keep those coming in so we can see what you're seeing right now. Of course, do so in a safe manner as well. Now, if you guys were tuning in earlier, we also posted about power outages around the region. We've been reading some of your comments coming in here too. So we'll take a look and see if anything new has come in from you guys. It looks like about a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, Dale saying no power in Enderlin, North Dakota here. It was hitting Grand Forks pretty bad earlier too in terms of power outages. While we give this a minute to load, we will check with our poweroutage.us website. Again, we've been keeping up with this all morning to show you how bad it is throughout the entire state. Now, it's still worse in Stutsman County here, looking at about 80% power loss, but we are seeing more eastern parts of the map start to light up in different colors. Again, this is Cass County right now, about 10%. Last time we checked, looks like it's dropped down. A couple people getting power back in Cass County here. Now, what is new is a little north of Cass County. These starting to light up, turn a little yellowy here. It was green before, but looks like we have some more outages. This is Steele County. We're out around 9% outages. That's a little over 100 people without power there in Steele. Let's check one more above before we take a look at our roads and see if anything's going on there. Let's look up north here in the Pembina area. Looking at 16% of folks without power here. It's a little under 700 people. Now we'll take a quick look at our North Dakota road map, see if there's anything going on here in terms of closures. Looking like as of now, nothing too crazy. The great thing about our Minnesota DOT map is we do have those live cameras, so we can check in on a few of those here. This Minnesota map loves to color for the weather warnings as well that Lisa's been going over, but we'll check on one of these cameras. How about Holly right here? See what's going on. Ooh, you can see a lot of sheen on this camera right here, nice and blurry. A lot of the rain photos we were seeing, ooh, like this one here in Frazee, coming so fast or hard that it just looked like lines across our camera view right here. Let's explore, look at a couple more here. Let's move a little north up by Clearbrook and Foston area. Oh yeah, look at that coming down on this camera right here. Not the best visuals, but that just puts into perspective how messy it's getting out there too. You're just seeing these lines across the camera. That is our rain right now. Check back here, not looking like any road closures right now in Minnesota. Of course, we'll keep updating you throughout the morning on these too. Let's pop back over to Facebook. See if we are seeing any power outage comments here. Gonna have to take a little scroll down here, bear with me. I know we were getting some reports of down power in South Fargo. I know Horace, again, we had that tree down earlier this morning that we just showed you a photo of. Scrolling a little more, see if we can pull that up. Oh, and it is up actually. Went the wrong way. Well, you know what? We'll give this a moment to load. We'll check back in with some of these power outages updates. But for right now, I'm going to send things back to meteorologist Lisa Green for an update. Lisa?
Good morning. Well, we are continuing to track the storms racing through the valley. It's been fast as they've moved in, and they continue to wreak some havoc in eastern parts of our viewing area right now. This is our live view in Fargo. We're still getting some lightning. We still have rain coming down as well. This is I-94. You can see we've got that wet road surface and lightning again still going. Road spray as vehicles are going by and folks are trying to get to work. No current warning for Fargo Moorhead, so that's good, but you're going to have to deal with this. There might be some standing water in some of those low-lying spots. You know, we're still trying to recover from the flash flooding that we saw earlier this week, rather. And you can see again, we've got a good rain shower coming down, and I'm hearing rumbles of thunder. So no severe for Fargo right now, but yes, so we are still getting some thunderstorm activity going on. Other places dealing with severe weather. So let's take a look at what we've got going on in the rest of the valley. So eastern North Dakota, for a lot of us, it's really quieting down. We're looking at our system moving eastward. There's still that warning in that northeastern corner of our viewing area, but it's likely to move eastward pretty quickly here. And then the rest of us just kind of seeing some rain, some thunderstorms. And then here in Minnesota, we are watching those severe storms continuing to push east. Again, the structure of this line, it's a curved line because of that strong wind and that the storms are producing here. And you can see that we have got multiple warnings going on. We had some tornado warnings earlier on. Haven't had a lot of reports of damage from those tornado warnings, but I have a feeling as we get to daybreak, we're going to be hearing more about damage here. At least from the wind, of course. And we have been getting in a lot of those reports that Tatum and Alex have been passing along, and I have too here in the valley. So here's a look at our latest warnings. We've got 3 of them right now. We're looking at northwestern Minnesota basically being in that lineup of each one of these warnings. The warning in the most northern part of the valley, that's our latest one. This one includes many counties in northwest Minnesota. It includes Hallock, back to Thief River Falls, Roseau, and parts of Red Lake area as well. And it's this part of the line where you see the oranges and reds where we're looking for that risk for that highest wind gust to 60 miles per hour. It is showing some signs of weakening, but again, these storms are moving away from the radar site as well. And then the next round down, the next warned storm is in, there we go, in the Foston area. Storm just blasted through there. We're starting to quiet down in Foston, but it's right over Clearwater County, moving east toward Bemidji. I know Bemidji, this is not something we want to see, but we've got to be prepared. We're looking out for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I'm not looking at anything near the intensity of what you saw earlier this summer, but still adding a little insult to that injury here today with those storms moving in this morning. And then farther south, tracking those storms down toward Detroit Lakes. We're looking at still heavy rain coming down in Detroit Lakes, down through the Perham and Frazee areas as well along Highway 10. Down toward Highway 59 and Sioux Pass Ranch and the well, the concerts are over this morning for the moment, but campers really being impacted by this. I'm hoping everybody's staying safe in that area. The strongest winds likely have moved on, and now it's lightning, it's downpours, just really muddy conditions likely this morning out at WeFest that you're dealing with, and not safe to leave, you know, your storm shelters either. So if you're watching this on our stream, that you're not going to want to leave your safe space right now as this continues to rumble east. But Park Rapids, this is coming your way. So get ready for those winds to pick up, and for eastern parts of Becker County, this will continue on. I do want to take a look at, let's take a look at our wind again here. We're seeing again some strong wind gusts, especially right in this pocket here where you see those brighter colors. We're starting to turn more orange than red on our radar velocities here, our storm relative velocity. This is where I would expect to potentially still have some more 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Foston again back over toward Clearbrook, but it is starting to get toward the edge of the radar here, so it's a little tougher to pick up some of that again near the surface. I do also want to take a look at what's coming up for later today. So let's take a look at our overview here. We've got all of these storms, this line that's just driving eastward, and then there's some trailing rain and trailing thunderstorms behind that. You can even see out by Bismarck there's some rain and thunderstorms in that area. So it's still going to be kind of messy out there this morning before the next round. And the question is, how much of the cloud cover and the lingering moisture this morning, how much will that impact storm development later today? Could inhibit it a little bit without the prime conditions that you need for thunderstorms to develop. We may see conditions affected or the intensity of our severe affected today. That's the question mark right now, and we just don't know at the moment as these continue to move through. And again, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 7 a.m. Now, I do want to get into our forecast. I know we've been talking about that and the severe weather for today. Just a quick look at current conditions. We've got visibility, of course, down where these storms are going through, so be prepared for that on the road. Don't want to drive through any severe weather for sure. Wind gusts in the wake of the storm, they've picked up somewhat. Fargo, we've got a gust into the 30s, so not terrible, but there is the potential it might get a little stronger than that with the wake winds with this system. So let's take a look at our temperatures. It's very warm out there. We're in the 60s and 70s, especially if you haven't had the storms move through yet. It's 73 degrees right now in Bemidji, and of course we've got rain and thunderstorms reported in many locations on our list here. And looking at our forecast for Fargo, you can see that we're looking at temperatures getting into the upper 70s to some 80s today. It's later tonight that we have the potential for some storms later this afternoon and tonight. You can see that here on our map. So we may warm up initially and then get some rain cooled air from those thunderstorms. So here's a look at our forecast for today on our first alert weather day. We've got another round coming our way out at WeFest. We'll get through this morning, and then it's going to be warm and muggy again with the potential for more severe storms heading into this afternoon. Sorry, my computer's blocking the way a little bit here. You can see that potential for storms moving into tonight, and that may be around concert time that we're dealing with that. So here's a look at what's happened and what's happening. We've had these storms race through the valley this morning. This was earlier, and then these continue to move eastward. Again, they are showing some signs of weakening, which is good to see, but they still are producing some severe winds right now. And then moving on into later morning, 9 a.m., the worst of it's over, but we're still watching for some rain and some thunderstorm potential here. And again, if that lingers longer, that could have some impacts on storm development later on. This is 2 p.m. We get into a bit of a break in this particular scenario. By 5 p.m., starting to see some hints of some more development happening here, and a 7 o'clock hour seeing some out west. But watch as we head into tonight. We could see another really big push of thunderstorm development toward sunset. This is 9 p.m. You see more storms popping up. Some of them, again, strong to severe here in the valley, especially along the Red River and points east. This is 11 o'clock. So again, this has the potential to impact your plans out at WeFest or out at the lake here for tonight. So I want to make sure we're staying weather aware again heading into tonight with that risk for severe storms. Looking at a slight risk for many areas in the valley, a level 2 out of 5 risk for later on today. And a quick look at your extended planner. Today, again, it's going to be hot and humid leading up to more storm development, and then we may see our temperatures drop again. Saturday, looking at stepping back our temperatures a bit and getting into some upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Sunday, similar range. We get a break from the stormy weather. Fingers crossed we can avoid seeing any wildfire smoke move in, but it is a possibility anytime you start to get that northwesterly flow coming in behind systems. And then next week, quieting down significantly, though there will be some chances for some rain and thunder coming up for next week. So again, active weather continues on. We're looking out for severe storms. I'm just going to do a quick check-in before we pop back to Tatum and Alex on the latest impacts of these storms. But we've had, of course, severe thunderstorm warnings in effect since very, very early this morning. You can see that we still have some warnings going on here in the valley that are in effect until 6 a.m. on these two southern warnings into Detroit Lakes area, and then back up toward the Clearwater area, the Clearbrook area, the Clearwater County area. And then the warning on the northern end, our newest warning, is in effect until 6:30 this morning. And again, we're watching out for wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. Hail hasn't been a huge issue. We've had a little bit of small hail, but no severe hail reported as of right now. So these will continue to blast east. They're moving east at a good clip, 50 to 60 miles per hour here this morning, and will continue to do so and move out quickly. We'll still have the lingering rain, but the severe will be over in the next, goodness, well, it's almost to Bemidji. We're looking at the Baudette area. We're looking at in the next hour, we might be done with the severe warnings coming up. I'm just taking a quick look, seeing if there's anything more to pass along here as the warnings continue. And basically, yeah, it's looking like everything's just kind of status quo at the moment. So we're going to watch for these warnings to perhaps end in the next few minutes. They're set to expire in 6 minutes, these Southern Valley warnings, and then the Northern Valley warning, the very northern one in the 3, that's in effect until 6:30 again. So again, still tracking severe weather moving through the valley, still being impacted by it. Rain still coming down in a lot of areas. So a tough morning for that morning drive. Want to make sure we're staying put while the severe storms are moving through, and being careful once you hit the road this morning with all that rain out there. Now we'll take a look at what's going on right now with Alex.
All right, thank you so much, Lisa. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the sky cams quick. Just first and foremost, I've got the one pulled up in Grand Forks at the UND Department of Atmospheric Science sky cam. So you can see a little bit here. Trees moving down there. A little bit of action happening. We're going to hop on over to our Corwin Tower cam, see what's going on right outside here in Fargo, okay? Give this a second to pull up. You can see that rain coming down over those street lights there. Roads looking awfully wet out there. If you got to commute into work today, it's definitely something you're going to want to be mindful of. So we're going to hop on over to roads as well. You can see here we are having that orange there, that's going to be construction. So that's not going to be weather alert here. So we're going to hop on over down near the Sheldon area. There is a down tree. So that warning is over on 32 South there near Sheldon. Down tree on the roadway impacting traffic. And we'll continue to follow that for you as well. But I'm going to hop on over to what we got going on power-wise, okay? We've been tracking this for you pretty much all morning to see what people are looking at. Last time I updated you at about 17,000 people were without power. Now I'm looking at 20,000 people are without power, 20,481. That one just updating for us a little bit ago. You can see more counties affected. So I'm going to hop up north. Look like Pembina. You're seeing some now. 725 out of the 4,000 tracks sitting without power. That's Nodak and Otter Tail are the ones who are impacted. Hopping back over, the hot spot for power outages today has been Stutsman County. So I'm going to hop on over there as well. Out of the 12,000 customers tracked, 8.5 thousand are without power. So that's about 68% of the customers tracked. That impacts Dakota Valley, Cass County, KEM, Northern Plains, and Otter Tail Power Companies. So it looks like a majority of that is Otter Tail Power Company here, and we'll be reaching out to them later this morning to find out what they got going on there, get an update for you on when that power is coming back on if it has not already. We're going to hop on over to Eddy County, 386 out of the 1,700 tracked. Hop back over. I'm going to hit one or two more hot spots here. So Barnes County, you're looking at some power outages there too. It looks like majority of that is going to be Otter Tail Power Company. Cass County got a few, about 28 people with Cass County Electric in Barnes County are seeing a power outage. So I'm going to head on over now to our Facebook page. And I'm going to see, we did post it on Facebook a little while ago. So we posted, have the storms knocked out your power? Let us know in the comments. So I'm going to hop on over, see if I can get this operating for me, okay? Nope, that's not going to work. Anyways, we're going to head on over to a down tree. We posted this a little while ago. This is in Horace, this big down tree. A viewer sent us in out in the road near her home. So somebody also telling us trampoline took out my neighbor's fence in Horace. Trees down all over Grand Forks. Renee also sending this photo in to us. We're going to click here. You can see that down tree on that pickup here causing a little bit of damage there. I'm going to hop on over, see if I can get that power outage post pulled up to see what people are saying over on our comments on Facebook. And we'd love to hear from you as well. If you want to head on over to our Facebook page, you can leave a comment as well. You can see that trampoline there. Wow. And you can read other people's comments as well of what they're seeing outside their front door. We have been covering this for you all morning, so hopefully I can get this down here. Give that a second to load, okay? We're going to head back out to power outages here, see if we can get something going. I'm going to head on over to Steele County. We got a few customers out there, 140 out of the 1,300 tracked. And remember, you can head on over to poweroutage.us. This is the tool that we're using to track this for you this morning. You can head on over and report yours too. So you can report this to poweroutage.us so they're able to track you as well, get a better idea of what we got going on, okay? So Ransom County, that's a new one for us here, it looks like. We got 230 customers out of the 3,500 without power. That includes Otter Tail Power Company as well as Cass County Electric. So that's about 6.5% of the customers tracked on poweroutage.us. We're going to see if this is loaded quick. Okay. We're heading on down. Remember, we just posted this about an hour ago, and we've got quite a few comments. We've got, I think, over 100 now of people letting us know what's going on. A lot of people in Grand Forks telling us that they're without power, letting us know the damage that they're seeing outside. So it's been interesting to follow and good information to be aware of as we continue to track this storm for you. I'm going to head back on over to Minnesota. We're going to see if we got any Minnesota counties without power. So it looks like 639. So Minnesota is not really seeing this as heavily as North Dakota. It looks like they're seeing that in Red Lake. They're also seeing that over in, give this a second to load. They're also seeing a few in Kitzing County as well. 61 customers out of the 1,900 tracked. And remember, again, you can tell poweroutage.us if you're experiencing a power outage. Also tell your provider, of course, but we're going to keep trying to get this to work here. We got a lot of good comments here. We're going to check back in with our sky cams quick. We're going to look at the Red River Bridge East I-94. I know a lot of people are probably heading on a commute pretty quick here. Look at that water up on that road there. Lots of water we're looking at on the Red River Bridge. And we're going to give this a moment to load. I'm waiting for an update to see where we're, oh, here we go. Okay, we got 111 comments. Sorry that took a little bit, but we're going to get it moving, okay? We got 111 comments. Again, about an hour ago, Jack told us South Fargo near 52nd Walmart is out. We're going to head on over and see if we can get the newest comments here to get you the very latest on what we're looking at, okay? So we just had rural Hatton was sitting without power. Electricity out 4 miles north of Thompson, we're seeing as well. Power out of Cass County Electric, northwest of Lisbon. I had just shown you on our map there that as well. So it looks like no power 4 miles north of Erskine. Still good in Detroit Lakes. Jordan says he's got power over there. Donna says Finley is out. Janice says power out by Frontier. Kelly said 12 minutes ago, power's been out since 2:20 at Spiritwood Lake. So Carlene also telling us it's back on. She didn't tell us where she's at, but she did say that her power is back on. Tarina says Sharon power's out. Jamestown, but it's only been about 2 hours roughly, and have it back on probably in about an hour or so. Jessica told us that 56 minutes ago, hoping her power is back on. Mariah saying Oak Street in Grand Forks that it's been out since 4:15. That was about an hour ago, though. No update there yet. Foston, yes, a lot of Grand Forks comments here that they're experiencing that. And I want to hop back on over to our power outage map. We're going to head on over to Grand Forks County and see just how many numbers we're seeing there, okay? Grand Forks County here, we're looking at 2,500 right now, okay? Out of the 37,000 tracked, 2,500 are without power. You can see down here that's mainly impacting Nodak Electric, but as you go further down, you can see Otter Tail too, a few dozen there, as well as Excel. You're seeing almost 1,000 customers there, 798. You're seeing quite a few. That's only 6.78% of the customers tracked, though. Remember, you can find this over on our website. You can also head on over to get the latest on power outages, Facebook page, website. We got a lot of different avenues, as well as the VNL weather app. That's another good reminder to download that VNL weather app so our First Alert Storm team can follow you wherever you go. We just had a great, not great, but we just had a crazy flash of lightning on our sky cam over there. Now, this is about all I got for you at this point in time. I'm going to send things to break quick so we can get a little bit of break action going on, okay?
And welcome on into the Valley today at 6 a.m. I'm Tatum Miller.
And I'm Alex Larson. So we have been experiencing a very busy morning here across the valley. Lots of severe weather that we've been experiencing, and First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green has done a great job tracking that for you all morning. She's been working so hard to getting this information out to you, and we're going to continue to push that out to you. Right now we're looking at the Coronado Skycam. Looks like we're buffering a little bit here, but we just saw a crazy flash of lightning just a few minutes ago, and you can see that morning commute heading on in, and roads looking awfully wet this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. We've also been tracking some power outages that we will get to in just a moment. But first, here's meteorologist Lisa Green with more on our current conditions. Lisa?
Good morning. Yes, been tracking these storms all night long. They took a while to get here. The arrival time was more into the early morning hours, and since then they've just been racing through. And the biggest issue has been the wind with these bowing structures. These straight line wind events create the bowing line that you see on the map, and we still do have some warnings in effect. One particular warning in effect right now. We'll pause it here. And in addition to that, we've had some tornado warnings too. Within straight line wind events, you sometimes on the edges of those straight line wind areas get some circulations. There's all this turbulence with all of that wind, and that can lead to those circulations turning into tornadoes, those quick little spin up tornadoes, those little eddies becoming even stronger, producing even stronger wind gusts. And we did have tornado warnings overnight. Grand Forks, the Grand Cities, we're hearing some reports of some damage in the Grand Forks area that sound concerning. A member of the chat group that I'm in with the National Weather Service is saying that that there's some video of damage in Grand Forks from a viewer there who her shed was gone, and this is coming from the Flag Family Media, our partner here in Fargo, that her shed was gone and one side of her house was blown in Grand Forks. A rude awakening here. So we're going to try to find out more information on that coming up throughout the morning, and I imagine we're going to get more reports as day breaks, as the storms move on, and we can assess what's happened here. One other thing I want to pass along is that the severe thunderstorm watch is getting trimmed here, so we'll show you that in just a moment. As well as these storms move east, the severe threat is ending. So a lot of places in eastern North Dakota getting some rain and thunderstorms still, like in Fargo, but it is not severe like this initial line. So let's talk about this this one severe thunderstorm that we have in place right now. The ones that were on the southern end of this, if you've been watching, those have expired at 6 o'clock this morning. So those have moved on or have ended, because these storms have generally now been starting to weaken. And so the intensity is coming down a bit. However, there's still the possibility we could see a 60-mile-per-hour gust still within this line of storms. And so you can see Roseau in the mix here. We're looking at northwestern Beltrami County down to Red Lake, having this storm blast through with some heavy rain. There's some lightning associated with it. Speaking of, we'll turn on the lightning data for a moment here, and we're looking at, well, it's not turning on. There we go. Starting to see that populate there. So definitely still seeing plenty of lightning with these storms. And again, some downpours going on in addition to those wind gusts. So this will be in effect for another 20 minutes for places like Roseau, War Road, Badette just outside, and War Road is just outside the warning as well, I should mention here. But this line of storms eventually will come to you and impact you. Some really good news as we're taking a look at Bemidji. We are watching that storm move in. The winds are going to be blustery with that, but we don't have any current warnings for you in Bemidji. So that's great news. I know we are storm weary here, and we don't want to see intense winds again like we did earlier this summer. That's definitely not going to happen, but be prepared for some blustery conditions as the storm continues to move through the Bemidji area, the Hubbard County area, and then down toward Wadena County as well. Perham getting some of that rain and thunder, and then that does stretch down into southern parts of the valley too, but these are not warned areas. So lightning, downpours, gusty winds, and issues with travel here for this morning. If you can wait for the storms to move on, even in the non-severe areas, that would be good to let those pass by. And taking a quick look at so we've got that happening here. I'm going to take a wider view and put this into motion. There's rain in the wake of this, might be a little gusty in the wake of this, and some thunderstorms kind of trailing that as well. And so I can't rule out that being a factor for us for today as we make our way through the morning. We may still see some rain happening even after that severe weather ends for this first round. And yes, this is the first round. A reminder, we had 2 first alert weather days for 2 separate rounds of severe weather. So looking at our latest watch, you can see that we're still under that severe thunderstorm watch for a significant portion of the valley until 7 a.m., but eventually that's going to kind of get whittled away as these storms start to move through. So I want to take a quick look at our forecast for today. We do have the potential for severe weather here on this first alert weather day later on. We're just going to take a look at the risk, and then we'll check in on reports coming in here in just a moment. But we do have that slight risk for this afternoon and into tonight. So we festers, I know we had to hunker down just a little bit ago. I'm hoping everything's okay there with the storm that blasted through. It was severe, warned as it moved through the WeFest area. Again, later tonight we have that concern for more storms for this afternoon and into the late night hours. So slight risk for a good portion of the viewing area for later today. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to track these storms and keep you up to date. And we're going to check in now with Tatum on conditions for what we're dealing with in the valley. We've had a lot of reports coming in from the severe weather.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lisa. Now we're doing 2 things here. So here in this plasma, I'm going to be showing you some viewer footage and viewer videos. And then I'm also going to be here on our iPad. This is because we posted on Facebook a couple of hours ago asking for you guys to comment whether or not power was out in your area. We have gotten a little over 120 comments so far, so I'm just going to read through some of the new ones here. We are seeing from Danette, no power in southeast Jamestown. That's with Ottertail Power Company. But some of southwest Jamestown seems to have gotten some power back.
We're getting reports that South Moorhead and South Fargo have gotten power back on as well. 3 miles north of Alvarado is seeing power outages there. Power out in Mackinac since 4:30 a.m. Still nothing back on there. Now, the main concern when we were looking at our poweroutage.us tool earlier, we were seeing Stutsman County really without power there. So far we're seeing that Detroit Lakes does still have power, at least on the WeFest grounds. One other notification that we received on Facebook too had to do with MSUM campus. They sent a notice out to all students not to come to campus today. Again, that was sent out to students, so if you're making your way over there in Moorhead, you could pass on that. Now we are taking some of this viewer VO. This is of a massive tree down in the backyard. You can just see how thick that trunk is too. I mean, it must have taken a lot of force. And then here we are seeing a rainy, windy view right outside of the front door here. If this video wants to play, might be lagging a bit this morning. Can't blame the connection too much, of course. Oh yeah, take a look at that lightning flash. And you can see this tree really wobbling too, and seems like it would be a sturdy one as well. Now, we also shared some photos with you earlier. We're going to pull back up those now too. So one of them is from the Horace area. That is of a downed tree. This is in the Grand Forks area, these videos that you just saw. We saw a massive downed tree. Oh, there we go, have it up there. That's in the Horace area, a little southwest. We received that about 45 minutes ago. And then we just got a new photo, and this one is coming out of, let me double check here actually. This one, look at that lightning. What an insane shot. That one was from Christopher, and he was also in Grand Forks. And some of these videos looking like it's a little south of Grand Forks as well. So feel free to keep sending in these Facebook photos. Either comment them below and we'll reach out to you, or send them to us on our messenger too. We love getting a live look of what you're looking at right now. And of course, you can stay tuned using the VNO weather app all morning long. In the meantime, we're sending things right on over to meteorologist Lisa Green for a look at current conditions. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, we're watching out for wind to start coming down. The thunderstorms have been showing signs of weakening, which is great to hear and see as we are, of course, still trying to clean up from the last round. And here's a look at some of our peak gusts that we've seen so far reported to us from this latest round. The Grand Forks Air Force Base is checking in with the highest amount, 91-mile-per-hour gust there this morning as storms blasted through. Jamestown checked in with a 77-mile-per-hour gust. Emerado, not far from the air base, a 74-mile-per-hour gust. Moorhead, a 68-mile-per-hour gust in Moorhead. So certainly saw some strong winds, and we have had some reports of damage in the FM area. Mayville, a 61-mile-per-hour gust too, and in Trail County, we've had reports of issues. I've also seen some reports of some damage in other places as well in Steele County. Finley, it sounds like Finley sustained some damage here. We're talking about a shop building destroyed, the power out for part of the town. A large bin in the elevator is also down. It was empty and it fell on some vehicles and crushed them. So I'm hoping we don't get too many more reports of this, but we're likely to hear some more reports of at least some trees down with these kind of winds coming up as folks are waking up this morning and assessing the situation. Looking outside, you can see we've got rain still coming down in Fargo Moorhead, still looking soggy out there. So be ready for running into some standing water in some low-lying areas potentially. Be ready for the possibility for some lightning and thunder as you are getting ready to head out the door for your morning commute. Of course, if you are in those areas where we've got this line of stronger storms still moving through, stay put. Let those pass by because we're still looking at some gusty winds, and we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area up into the northeast. where we're seeing the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that includes Roseau, again, that includes areas like the Red Lake area here this morning, and north of Bemidji. Bemidji not under severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that's good. And I just want to check in on our radar estimated rainfall, because I know we've been concerned. A lot of us had water in our basements from the last round. And here's a look at so far the estimated precip over the last 12 hours. You can see some heavy amounts estimated in northeastern North Dakota, an inch or more of rain estimated there, and then these pockets as well on the radar too. But we'd appreciate hearing your reports about how much rain you've received. There are some areas like Detroit Lakes where it looks like we got more than an inch of rain again there, and then some of those areas where we were dealing with a very heavy rain from the last round in Lemoore and Dickey County. Looks like another inch plus in that area as well. So a rainy one that has also, of course, been a very windy night and overnight last night. I'm watching our rivers as well. The Red River is under a flood warning, and it was leveling off, but now this latest push of rain as this system moved in, you can see it's ticking back up. It's at 17.78 feet, so just under flood stage right now. The forecast is currently for 18.5 feet, so low end, minor flood stage, but still reaching flood stage at the Red River in Fargo, and there's other rivers in the Southern Valley that are responding to the heavy rain too. You can actually check this out at VNL on our VNL weather app at valleynewslive.com. We've got a page right on our weather page, a tab to check out river levels where you are. So again, round one this morning happening, still going on. We've got another one coming tonight, so we may see more water in the mix and more rises to our rivers here. Let's take a look at our forecast, because I know we've been talking about the potential for severe weather again for your Friday afternoon and evening. Let's take a look at what we're going to be seeing here. WeFest. Well, you know, we've been dealing with the storms this morning at WeFest, and again, that's going to be a possibility for tonight. We're looking at temperatures this afternoon getting into the 80s, low 80s, and then heading into this evening, we start to see those numbers come down, and you can see, sadly, we're looking out for that chance for some storms. Doesn't necessarily mean it's definitely going to hit WeFest, but the possibility is there. We could see another storm move over that area. So let's show you what's been going on and what we can expect to see in our hour-by-hour planner. This is starting earlier this morning, that line of severe weather moving through. Notice how it's been weakening as it moves eastward, and the model showed that nicely. So that tells me that the model has initialized well this particular round. So I'm trusting a little bit more of what it's going to put out for later on to today, for today. There we go. Looking at some conditions that are going to still be unsettled. We'll be on that rainy side, isolated showers to some thunder showers even into mid-morning possibly. And, you know, we could see a little resurgence in rain and thunder you saw there into midday. That moves on. We get a couple of hours, a few hours of a break here, and that's going to be critical. You know, if we heat up enough, if we create enough instability, that will help to contribute to more thunderstorms later tonight. 5 p.m. starting to see some signs of rain and thunder here popping up in a couple of isolated areas. This is 7 p.m. But watch what happens as we move toward sunset and head into the nighttime hours. We see storms just kind of blossom here. This is 9 p.m. and maybe right over Fargo, right over places like Ada, and down toward Fergus Falls, very close to the Sioux Pass Ranch area for WeFesters. And so there is that possibility we could see more thunderstorms into the nighttime hours tonight, continuing overnight and into tomorrow morning, very early tomorrow morning before they start to move on and we quiet down. But another round of severe is certainly possible here with these storms. And then a quick look at, again, our risk for today. We're looking out for a slight risk for most areas, and all types of severe weather will be possible, including the possibility for some flash flooding in areas that have had some trouble recently. I'll take a quick look here at our 11-day planner so we can prepare for the weekend. Again, today, some 80s. Rain may cool us down a little bit today. And then this weekend, nice and refreshing as far as temperatures are concerned, upper 70s to some low 80s, and we keep those temperatures going into next week and quieting down for the weekend. I think that'll be welcome for a lot of people after a very active week, and one more round to come tonight. So we'll continue to track the storms coming up here throughout the morning. They continue to race through the valley, and we'll also check in on our power outages right now.
All right, thank you so much, Lisa. Yeah, we're looking at some power outages. We're going to click on North Dakota here. We've got about 14,000 customers out. Remember, the last time I updated you, we were at 20,000. So it looks like power is coming back on for For a few folks, I remember reading in the comments on Facebook on our power outage post that somebody had updated us a few hours ago saying that power was out near the Walmart on 52nd. We do have somebody commenting back to us now saying that power is back on. But I do want to tell you some breaking news before we head to break quick. We've got breaking news of a reported grain elevator fire. That happened in Shelley, Minnesota this morning. So details are pretty limited. We have reached out to officials. We're waiting to get a picture from a viewer, get permission to show that picture to you of that fire. But again, we will be right back after this break.
On the 50th block of Broadway North. When officers got there, they found 3 adults with gunshot wounds. One of the victims, identified as Azim Holmes, was pronounced dead at the scene.
If you have any information on Jones's location, you're asked to get in touch with the Fargo Police Department.
A Fargo man is facing assault charges for allegedly punching someone in an unprovoked attack on Broadway. That happened Monday night.
So according to court records, that victim told police he was walking in the 15 block of Broadway when an unknown man suddenly hit him. Video surveillance shows this man approaching the victim near the train tracks and punching him, causing the victim to fall into the bushes.
Officers reviewed video footage, and officers noted that the suspect was likely Royal Rockefeller. Now, Rockefeller has been charged with aggravated assault.
A man from Minot is facing assault charges after assaulting staff at All True Behavioral Health in Grand Forks.
Gilbert Hool was a patient at the hospital on August 5th when he started to have an argument with another patient, resulting in him throwing a box of crayons at the nurse when she attempted to separate the two.
Later, he exited the room and punched the nurse in the ribs. Police say in an attempt to get him back to his room by the security guard, he started spitting towards him and scratched him on the wrist.
The man charged with killing the top Democrat in the Minnesota House and her husband and wounding a state senator and his wife has pled not guilty in federal court.
Vance Belter was indicted July 15th on 6 counts of murder, stalking, and firearms violations. Murder charges could carry the federal death penalty. The prosecutors say that decision is still several months away.
Prosecutors in this case say the evidence will include potentially thousands of hours of video footage, tens of thousands of pages of responses to dozens of grand jury subpoenas, and data from numerous electronic devices seized during this investigation.
A juvenile was flown to Sanford and Fargo after rolling an ATV. Richland County Sheriff's Office says the person was riding a Polaris 250 near 9765 County Road 81 at southeast of Fairmount when they lost control.
Authorities say the juvenile was not wearing a helmet. They've not said the person's age or gender. They have said the crash is still under investigation.
And a Moorhead teen's stay at a Hennepin County burn unit has been extended. Aiden Bernard was in his demolition derby vehicle while it caught on fire at the Becker County Fair in late July.
Due to all the dressing changes and monitoring after the next grafting surgery, he won't be able to come home until the end of August or early September. We do have a link to help the family. That's over on our website, valleynewslive.com. You just have to click on this story.
And we're going to come back.